Good morning, Econ Rebel. It's 10:35 on a Wednesday morning. How are you doing? I'm doing just dandy. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to cover some prices. Let's see what the market's doing. We're going to have a look at some news. Just quickly go through that. See if we've got time for it. All right, so let's have a quick look. Just a couple of major buttons. Okay, here we go. So we got Bitcoin at $6,400, down about 4.25%. Ethereum $439, down 7% today. XRP 44 cents, down about 5%. Bitcoin Cash $702, down 5%. EOS $7.52, down 5%. Litecoin position 6, 77.83, down 4%. Stellar 19 cents, down nearly 6%. Cardano 13 cents, down 5.62%. IOTA position 9, 98 cents, down 4.82%. And Tether rounding out the top 10, $1.01 at 2.63 billion. So that's where the market is right at the moment. And just outside of those top 10, we've seen moves up to 10%. Ethereum Classic, Arrow, Icon down 10. The only thing different there is Bitcoin Gold up 10%. And Qcoin up 4.52%. Options down 12. So in the top 50, look, minus probably 12% has been the biggest range we've seen. But generally on big ones, on the top 5 there, 20.1%, except for Ethereum, about 7%. So that's for the state of the market at the moment. The last 24 hours, we just have a quick look at Bitcoin. Hey Casey, how you doing, mate? Just wait for this to load. We'll have a look. I think it wasn't too bad. There was a big some big sell orders that came through. Let's have a quick look where this happened at. So it was around 66.29. It was close to that 6,700 mark. And as you can see, from about here, it started to drop off. There was, you basically got just under $1 million on the order volume, and this is hour by hour. And then we hit this time here, and we've hit about 8.42 million. And then we've got a little bit more volume just after that as it sold off, and then we hit a large one, 12 million. So as you can see, there's some those big sell orders there pushed the market down. All right, and then we had a small drop off from 64 back down to 6325, but it picked up again pretty much straight away. So look, it might stay this way a little bit longer. We'll soon see. But look, if you're hoping that you've got all your hopes on Bitcoin going up in the next month or 2 months, hoping is not the strategy to have. You've got to have a strategy in place that you're going to make money regardless of what Bitcoin does, and that's all you need to have in place, and that will give you confidence to go forward. So there's different markets. Everyone makes money when the market's going up. You just got to buy something and hold on to it and make money. Okay, and sometimes that can be a longer play, sometimes it can be a short play. But with Bitcoin at the moment, it's ranging. It's ranging, basically between 63, 6,300, 6,700 right now. And at the moment, it's not going to stay in that range forever. It's going to break out of that range. Okay, for different reasons. And look, people think it's going to go to the moon. It might go to 25k by then. Who knows? It might go more. But Bitcoin just goes up and then retraces back and it goes up again. It just moves in waves. So that's what it does. And basically, you've got to make sure that you position yourself, capitalize on that, and also take opportunities while you can. If you don't know how to make money while this is trading in a range like this, then you're missing. You don't understand how the market works. You can make money right now in the market while this is going on. This doesn't affect me. This, with the price if it moves on up, that's great. Holding Bitcoin can be making more dollars. But if you're sitting on Bitcoin and it's down a few percent and up a few percent, you're not making consistent money, then you've got the wrong strategy. So that's something to be aware of. And it's okay. You may not know the strategies. You might only know to buy and hold. There's other strategies to make money in the market. So we have a quick look at the news. Last night I had a quick look at some of the things that are interesting to me. The first one I'm going to cover is something local to me, which is the Queensland cane farmers to create their own sugar blockchain. So, I'm in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, so I thought, okay, I'll check this out. So have a look at this article. Load that up. Now, I thought about this and thought, I wonder what this is all about. But when I ran into it, it was obvious to me what was going on. And you'll see more of this. And it's potentially it's a good thing because this is taking the blockchain and putting it out there for projects. So this is Queensland cane farmers to create sugar blockchain, and the idea is they want to raise prices for their product. The main thing is basically Queensland sugar and the growers. It's a big area where they grow the sugar cane, and essentially what they want to do is soft drink makers. Essentially, who they're talking about is Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola, they buy the sugar, put in the drinks, and they're the biggest buyers is for the makers of sugary drinks. So what happens is the idea is that Coca-Cola wants to source 100% of the sugar from sustainable sources by 2020. Now, the concept here is that they're going to use blockchain technology to pinpoint where the sugar's grown in the supply chain, where it came from, and how, basically where it grew up and where it's produced. They want to track that. Now, this is a big company like Coca-Cola doing this, and what the actual government has created they've got a grant. So there's a 4-year project. They received $2.25 million, a smart farm grant from our federal government, to actually create this blockchain project and put into it. Now, most things that our government do don't really pan out. Yes, I know it's not the government doing it, but they've put $2.25 million into this, and honestly, it may not get any traction whatsoever. And what's crazy about this is this has already been done. Origin Trail is already well on its way. It's already with testnet, and Origin Trail, I'll just open it up now. Origin Trail does exactly that. It tracks, the idea of it is to track produce from the beginning to the end. If I could actually spell Origin Trail, let's try that again. And this is a crazy thing. Someone would have said, hey, we can use blockchain technology, and they would have sold them on the idea, and then they would have got funding for a couple of $1 million out of the government. Now the government, they got no idea. They just go, yeah, okay, we'll just throw out that. They don't even realise that projects like this exist already. Now, knowing how things work with experience, the technology, they might be creating it, but maybe way inferior to the technology that's already out there. So I don't like the chances of that happening. Just see if we can do a quick search for Origin Trail. Just wait for this page to load. Now, if you've got any questions about any of the topics I'm going to cover today, just put them in the questions. Hey, DNG, how you doing, mate? Just put them in the questions if you've got any things you want to talk about, any of the topics today. Just have a quick look at the search up now. Let's have a look at Origin Trail. But I'll tell you this, if you try and create, there's nothing wrong with competition, but if you're behind the game, right, you're not going to get any traction because it already is. There's already something out in that marketplace that does exactly what you want. You may not own it, or the government own it, may not own it, or that organisation may not own it, but it's not going to work as good as someone who's already created this product, already got the blockchain. So let's have a quick look. Origin Trail. Right away. Have a quick look. So basically, Origin Trail, the idea is that every step of the way with the product, all this is accounted for in the blockchain. So as it moves, the product moves from like a manufacturer or the producer or the grower all the way through the supply chain. All this information is kept on the supply chain. Normally what happens is it's kept on a database local to that company. So for example, let's say it's at the producer level. What they do, they'll have an in-house database that will say, I've got this product and this is the price, this is the cost, and that's as much as they can track for it. Then it goes to the next person, and then that information that they have might be the price they paid for it, roughly where they got it from, but it's all separate databases, and it might go through a few different supply channels before it gets to the end user. And the end user looks at it and goes, well, I don't know where this came from, I don't know, did someone replace this product on the way and give me an inferior product out of another country? And this is the idea behind it. And big companies like Coca-Cola are changing the way they're doing it. And they're doing it at the moment. They want sustainability, they know where this stuff comes from. And the idea of Origin Trail puts all this information on the blockchain so it can be easily tracked and can't be tampered with. So that's the idea behind it. They've already got their testnet live. This is a great project that started out early in the year with our ICO, and now they're progressing and moving along. So yeah, check that project out if you're not familiar with it. But basically, I think that the Queensland growers for the sugarcane, they should have looked at something like Origin Trail rather than create their own blockchain. Because I can tell you right now, this is 4 years to receive $2.25 million. I mean, why rebuild something when there's already something existing that we can get on board with? This is crazy. So this $2.25 million is going to be wasted. I don't think there's going to be anything good about it. They'll have some sort of half-assed product. They won't even bother doing it. They're going to miss out on the ability to do it. And then someone's going to come along and say, finally they might find another product like Origin Trail, implement that. It would have saved $2.25 million and had a product that worked. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you with that one with the Queensland cane farmers. Good on them for having a go. But essentially, who pays that $2.25 million? That comes out of the pocket of taxpayers. So next one we'll look at is VC firm Lightspeed Venture partners to invest $1.8 billion in new funds, including crypto. Nearly daily, I see this. I see new companies that have got basically billions of dollars, and part of what they're doing is investing into projects. Now, at the moment, they've raised $1.8 billion, and now I don't think all of that's going directly into crypto, but they're looking at Southeast Asia and active fields in cryptocurrency and biotech to the cosmetics industry. They're looking to startup companies that just go with the money into. So yeah, this is going to be happening more and more. So the VCs and companies with a lot of money, they're going to start buying out projects that you see. They're going to start buying them out and bringing the money in. Two things are going to happen. Those projects are either going to completely fail because they lose the intention of, they've got money now, or they're going to continue to grow and monetize and actually be a lot more commercial. The problem is with a lot of the blockchain that I see the blockchain underlying concept, which is awesome, but I see shitty GUI interfaces. What that means is what you as a person use, your interface that you use with that software, it's usually crap. Now, the only one I've seen that's decent is something like Exodus, Exodus Wallet. That's an amazing wallet. It's got a beautiful interface and it works really well. So that's an example of what the rest of the market should have in terms of something that functions and looks great and is commercially a good product. A lot of the wallets that we use every day are just terrible wallets, and we put up with it because that's what we have to do. But once this money comes in, these projects, and they put developers and they put people who do user interfaces, UX design on these products, to start doing that, then it can it's going to pick up the interest of those products. And I've reported Dash is working on they've slowly died out of the top 10, and you don't hear much from them at the moment, but their project is still going along, and when they come up with their product, it's going to basically make PayPal make Dash like PayPal. So these are a few things that are rolling out and happening, and all these projects are just going on in the background, just quietly going on. And this money is, every day you'll see something where there's billions of dollars ready to go into the market. Okay, so they'll be buying directly into these companies. They may not be like spending the money and just buying Bitcoin on open market rates. They might be investing into the companies that actually have the technology. So you're going to see companies just all of a sudden being bought out. Someone offers them X amount of dollars to take over existing assets that already have a foothold in the marketplace. So, that's really good news for what's happening. Let's have a couple of other things. Bitcoin Cash, they updated their website. So I'll have a quick look at that one. So it's whether you love or hate Bitcoin Cash. I still love it because I don't care about some things that other people argue with. They don't like people who run the show or whatever. I look at usability and what's happening with the actual project and compare it to other things. Now, if Bitcoin Cash was crap, it would have fell away just as much as some of the other actual coins. Like there's so many forks of Bitcoin. Like this is the crazy thing. There's so many forks of Bitcoin that this is the biggest fork of Bitcoin, visual Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin Cash. And, honestly, I prefer it to Bitcoin. Bitcoin fees suck, and I really would like to see Bitcoin Cash get more adoption. And so they've updated their website. I like it. They explain what's going on, show all the different nodes, wallets that now are integrated, and, basically they're in the top four, with Coinbase, Exodus, Red, all the big ones. All the ones that you use all the time, and the fees are very cheap fees, and also the speed time for working on zero confirmations, so that it's almost instant. And then there's all these services like GoURL for taking payments. Use that on some websites, and that's an amazing system. Coin Payments has it, for taking payment. Cointext serves basically Bitcoin Cash on your mobile phone with SMS. That's an amazing service. So that's pretty cool. And all these projects are happening all the time. Living Room Satoshi, if you're Australian and want to cash out, you can use that to sell your coins and get money. These are all different projects that they're working on. Some of them are in early stages and their GUIs are pretty crap. But it's the concept that they're using extra features that's already in Bitcoin and also Bitcoin Cash that's being re-enabled, that they're allowing for these new things that you couldn't actually do before. So like this platform for yours.org, they're using certain functions in the Bitcoin Cash that allows people to post information, and all that information is stored on the blockchain and also receive money or posted content, very similar to Steemit. So there's really good projects happening there, and these are all exchanges. So I really like the way they've on the website. They explain why you want to use Bitcoin Cash and the history of how it works. So that's pretty good. I do like the new site, and I like that. All right, this other one here. Let's have a look at this one. This one's about a lot of what you don't know is it depends on whether you follow the markets right now, the stock market, and what's happening in that, and also in international trade. So this article talks about borderless and neutral Bitcoin attracted to global trade war. So not sure if you're familiar with this, but at the moment it looks like China, Europe, and the US are all involved in a trade war that's starting up. This is what's been talked about, and all it is basically both sides, let's say China and the US, they're putting tariffs on different products that come into the country and go out of the country. And essentially they're making trade more restrictive, and it's going to cause... They're doing it to protect their own industries, but because they rely so much on each other for their trading, it then turns into a trade war. Now what happens is all these goods and services have to be paid with different currencies, okay? And this also gives value to the dollar, or gives value to the yuan, or any other currency that you're dealing with. Now, what happens is, because of these tariffs and issues with that, they're looking at, and this is where assets like Bitcoin can come in handy, because the idea is that if you've got something like Bitcoin, which is deflationary, it means that it doesn't increase, it's only 20 million coins. It's not like printed money where you can print as much as you want. So assets like that provide protection against the trade wars, because they can transfer Bitcoin and it has that value at that time, compared to whereas the dollars or whatever they're trading at the time, it goes back to the US, for example. So this is something that is going to be interesting as it pans out. At the moment, you and I would maybe not be affected by it, but you'll start to see industries not being able to compete, or supply issues with industries. So things that you may have gotten before, you can't get any before. All this has a flow-on effect, and this looks like the beginning of a big, something that's going to make a lot of impact. And with this situation, more money might flow into Bitcoin to deal with these issues of transferring value, whereas it's not related to the USD or not related to other currencies. So this is something I've looked at, and it's very interesting. But definitely, this trade war is going to impact both the stock market and possibly lead to more money going into Bitcoin. Okay, because basically, with Bitcoin you can transfer that value. There's no one stopping you from doing it. So you can be in one country and another country, and you can do that. The only thing that is possibly a problem is actually physical delivery of the product, and that's where tariffs and stuff come into. So yeah, it's interesting. Interesting read, and there's a lot more articles about that. I think that's all I wanted to cover this morning, just those few articles. That's about it. Now, if you've got any more questions, just put them in the comments below. That would be great. And if you want to learn some of the basics, you can always go to, I've got a link below, that link, and it goes to this here. So it goes to my website, ecomrebel.com. I've got a getting started guide, and basically I've got 2 hours worth of video just to go through all the beginning stuff to do with Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin, how to actually get it in your wallet, all the information you need to know. Normally you'd be searching for this over the web and trying to find it on YouTube, but I've condensed it, made it simplified it, put it in a format that you can understand. So you can check that out. I've got a video there you can have a look at and explain what it's all about. So if you're interested in that, you can always check that course out. I'm working on basically another course shortly, which will be more on the making money side. But I'll tell you this: if you don't get the basics right, you're going to lose big time, because when you're transferring larger funds, if you haven't worked out efficiently how to buy, sell, and transfer through wallets and stuff like that, if you can't do that confidently, then you're not going to progress in making money. So just thought I'd share that with you. You can check that out, and if you've got any questions about that, you can leave comments or message me. So you're happy to help you out with that. I think that covers it. If there's any more news that pops up today, I will let you know. I think that's all for the moment. Okay, no worries. Have a good day. Catch you guys later. Bye.